For this exhibition, a large tribune has been built in the central hall. Why such an impressive element? How did the idea originate?
For KIOSK in the main space, I wanted to have a big tribune, like where people can sit on one hand to remind to the former use of the space, because it was an anatomy theater of the medicine university, and I wanted to have the same kind of setting and the same kind of guided views to the center of the space, and I like this reminding. And on a second hand, I wanted to create a theater in this space where the theater itself is a shadow theater, and everybody is looking at this shadow play. And the shadow play, also what you see is a screen which is in 1 by 1. That means that the actors, the shadows of the actors which you see, are in life size, so that you have this kind of life effect. And also this tribune you can very well imagine, of course, for live theater, and that it even emphasizes this.
The reference to theater can be seen as a constant in your work. Can you tell me something about your interest in theater?
Theater, I'm interested in theater because of many reasons, but of course theater is like an example. Or I mean, I'm not running actually every day into theater, unfortunately, and I'm not looking really in. I'm more interested in the mechanism of theater. That means I'm interested in this kind of I mean, let's take the old theater where the public is sitting on one side and the presentation is in the other side, which is still often, but many theater directors try to break or to open this up. But to have this, so whom is looking at whom, and these guided views, and then the theater curtain which is separating these two worlds and two times in a way. And there are two sides, of course, of this curtain, and when the curtain is opening, also that it starts and it closes, it's gone this time-based, also the time-based meter theater, and theater also a performance that every representation is new, so there is never the same. And it's always real time in a way. You don't have this film where you can make many cuts. It is what it is, and you can't repeat, you can't erase what you did in the last 3 minutes and do it again. Like saying with Shakespeare, the world as a stage. I mean, what kind of role we are playing here in the society, and that this is also, I mean, we are not playing in a theater play written by somebody, of course. We are. But let's say to be your own theater playwright, or try to be that, and try to write your own role, and don't let dictate you from somebody else what kind of role you have to play here in the society. And I think this is really, really difficult, because a lot of, I mean, our society is structured so that there are always roles for you, like ready for you, and you're just jumping in and filling out something. But this is not probably, or sometimes not, what you perhaps would do if you would think twice.
Is it wrong to describe your work as social criticism? For the next question, I would like to start with a phrase from Alain de Botton. We may say things we don't believe in to win over our colleagues, and feel ourselves becoming envious and excited in relation to goals we don't essentially care for. But finally, on our own, looking out of the hall window on the garden and the gathering darkness, we can slowly resume contact with a more authentic self, who was there waiting in the wings for us to end our performance. Is it suitable to argue that the video work Shadow Play and Spiegellied is about the tendency of identification with certain roles that totally differ from who we really are?
Yeah. Yes. No, this is not enough. No, but what I also said already for your last question, that that it's about playing roles, and of course playing roles. Also, the piece with the first piece you see in the show, the shirts and the ties, this is also like not a persiflage, but it shows you, like, on one hand a man's society and a very dense and very close structure, where the only individual sign is the different color of the tie, and also the shirt and the tie as a role giver and I mean it gives you already a role, and this is what we know also, and what is also a good thing about clothing, that it gives you something, it gives you a role, and you can play somebody else or be somebody else. And but in the films, this is also especially a shadow play, starting with the costumes, that they're changing their costumes to be somebody else on stage, but then they're repeating in what they're saying. But who are we, and are we playing now, or why do we change our costumes? And then also they're just very last scene is that they are playing a puppet theater, and the puppets have the same costume as they changed. So you can also ask yourself, why did you change your costume? Just that you have the same costume as the puppets. I mean, again, the question, when are you playing what kind of role, and why, and from whom is it given to you?
Is it possible for a spectator to perceive a narrative structure in the films, or is it about an abstract story where a spectator can realize his own perspective? I mean, do these films contain a didactical output?
No, I hope you don't see that I'm that didactical, of course. But I I mean, to put the film Shadow Play is in real size, so the actors have the same height or the same size as you. So of course it would be great to have this kind of link to the own body, and also to the real time, and to this moment. Is it? I mean, I'm sitting now in this show, and I'm looking now at the actors. And then also, for example, to look at the other film, the two videos, Spiegellied 1 and 2, you have to pass this black curtain. And for me also, this moment of passing a curtain is always to make it conscious that you're tapping over a border, or you come from a before and you go to a behind, and to just make your path conscious from where to where you're going. And then in a lot of shows, I'm always very interested about the spectator's way, or like, and also to guide them, and I mean, of course, it's always important that they have the choice to say, okay, I don't want to sit on this tribune, I want to see it standing. This is really important, but to give them the opportunity to choose about their positioning in the show.
You repeatedly duplicate and deduplicate objects and actions. Why is that?
It's true, I'm a lot duplicating in this show, especially because when you see the plan of the space, then it hits your eye immediately that everything is, I mean, not everything actually, but the main space is so symmetrically, and because I'm often playing with architecture, and all my shows are made for the space, and this is a really important part in my work. I wanted to play with this symmetry, and then haphazardly I did a video just before, Spiegellied, which is playing also exactly with this duality. That means a video which I shot into a mirror, and yeah, I shot it twice, and once, the second time, the actors are playing mirrored. That means they're playing everything which was before on the right side, they play on the left side, and we are showing this work in the extra part, which is not into the symmetry of the main space, but itself, of course, it has the complete symmetry, because one video is completely mirroring itself, and at the same time it's not, because we shot it twice, and you never do the same, of course. And the duality also in this space, to treat the right and the left outer smaller space is the same. This is also because I really like the moment of déjà vu, like this, that when you go you make the parkour, you go in the left space, And then you come back and then you think, oh, this space I saw already, but everything is flipped now and the object is different. To have also this, I mean, your brain is also, you have also two parts of your brain, and to rediscover something and to be disturbed perhaps also in a way. And in the same time also I did often something, I didn't do that so much this time, to put objects from the films into the space, to have this kind of also déjà vu, but this is playing in the film and now it's here, to mix the works and the reality.
In an interview for the exhibition called Neue Alte Welt at the Common Guild in Glasgow, you explained that somehow it doesn't matter if we talk about a new or an old world, because after all you have only one world. It looks like Gleich, 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 the title of this exposition, is a variation on that title. Is it about the cultural and historical references that are constantly in interaction and the idea that there is no single point of reference?
Gleich, Gleich, Gleich actually is, it's true. It's like Neue Alte Welt. It's Neu and Alt is nothing, so it stays Welt. And Gleich is Gleich, Gleich. It's a big, like a rose is a rose is a rose. I mean, but Gleich in German has two connotations. It's the time. So Gleich means soon. So soon, soon, soon. And this is concerning the films. And also, yeah, and also this kind of, I mean, to emphasize the time in the show also you're passing in a show, and it's seeing a film, and the film has a special length. But then also Gleich means also equal. So equal, equal, equal is also, I mean, it's also a word game, and I love also absurd word games, which are not completely absurd, but which have this kind of first habit of absurdity.